Agriculture resources. The project would result in the loss of approximately 60.5 acres of prime farmland. As a result of this, the project applicant would be required to obtain prime farmland of equal size and protect the land in agricultural conservation easement. However, this still results in a significant and unavoidable impact. The project would also has a potential for urban decay impacts in the city of Reading, and may result in a 28% increase in existing known inventory of retail space by 2015. There are no mitigation measures available to reduce that impact, and therefore the EIR conclusion is that there is a potentially significant unavoidable impact with regard to existing pressure to convert to non-ag land, potentially cumulative significant unavoidable impacts regarding pressure to convert, and potentially cumulatively significant and unavoidable impacts to urban decay. Urban decay analysis was included as a support document for the EIR. Noise impacts, and there are several areas that cannot be mitigated to a level of insignificance. These include aesthetics, agriculture resources, air quality, land use planning, population, housing, transportation, circulation, and global climate change. Required to prepare a statement of overriding considerations wherein the county must balance the benefits of a proposed project against unavoidable environmental impacts for each of the listed significant impact areas. If the specific economic, legal, social, or other benefit outweighs unavoidable adverse environmental impacts, then the impacts may be considered acceptable. And the county will be required to provide specific findings to support the findings of, or the statement of overriding considerations.
Ideal spot for one, because there's a lot of local growers in the area. It would be.
There are no feasible mitigations because of jurisdictional issues. The facilities are either within city jurisdiction and or actually they're in both city jurisdiction and within Caltrans permitting jurisdiction, and also that there's no established funding sources for the improvements. And the city feels that that position warrants much more discussion. Jurisdictional agreements on a project basis to address impacts like this are not uncommon in California planning. Jurisdictions can come to agreements on how to one jurisdiction's projects are going to be mitigated on another one. And the funding sources, we believe that's not totally accurate as well.
By the Berkeley Group, I was not stating at all that the retail jobs would be paying $52,000 a year. Looking at that report, we can make statements all night long that makes it sound like what we want it to sound like. But
does your organization stand on working with local contractors? That's going to be a huge thing to us if that doesn't happen.
Sure.
We always want to bring somebody that's a regional contractor in that may have a little different expertise. But
commercial should be limited to Knighton Road interchange, and that's why these people are here today. That commercial is limited to Knighton Road. It's always been in the plan since the general plan was written.
The 74 million. Let's say that's baloney. Say the 1,600 jobs are not even half that.
They did what everybody else does, and they said the proponent will pay his fair share. Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. Now, after what's called the Tracy First case, the lawyers now say they'll pay their fair share, but if there's no fee collection mechanism in place, there's nothing they can do about it. They pretty much all say that. Yeah, the proponent will pay their fair share if somebody ever figures out what that is and can figure out how to collect it. So the answer is no. And in fact, to take that just one step further, I am not aware of a developer who's paid a dime for interchange improvements.
The Tracy First case are not required to be imposed by this board. Specifically, the court language indicated that cities and counties are not required to provide for funding of improvements to intersections or interchanges. You can funding plan in place for the various impacts that would occur, be they intersections or interchanges, and the answer was no. There are no funding plans currently in place, And their environmental impact report and everything you've heard this evening is correct, that there will be, in fact, cumulatively considerable impacts to agricultural resources.
There has been hay on that property for years and years and years.